Hello! In my last video I showed you how to make a real nice vent for a shirt or blouse sleeve, and right now I'm going to show you the extension on it practically, how to put the cuffling on. Easy done, watch it and you can do it as well.
When you've finished your vent, you will find on most of the patterns for sleeves that one or two pleats, sometimes 3 pleats, are got to be put in the bottom in before you put the cuffling on. So mark yourself those pleats that you have to put in, fold them over. Usually they're folded towards the vent that you have, and stitch them with a 5mm stitch on, so later on this seam will not show out. Towards the vent. Now you will have to stitch the side or the underarm seam. Usually that's 1 centimeter, unless you added when you were cutting it a different width onto it. So just close your sleeve first of all now. Even look towards your end, have all the edges put together correctly and finish it. Then you can go to your ironing board if you wish and iron the seam apart, or stitch it over to one side if you wish, but that's the first preparation. Because now we have to stitch that cuffling onto that. This particular cuffling now I already prepared. It depends on which widths you want, but that's all up to you. It doesn't have nothing to do with the pattern you might have. The widths you can always change at any time, but not the length of it. So first of all, go to your ironing board. You can put an interfacing behind first if it's a very soft material. Then iron it in half first if you wish. And then you iron this 1 centimeter on one side over, or you iron that centimeter over first, and then fold it in half, but leaving 1 centimeter of the non-ironed part sticking left over. Then you fold it right to right, leave the ironed part lying flat, and stitch one side, the first side 1 centimeter. Now you have to do exactly the opposite on the other side. 1 centimeter seam, the ironed part is lying flat down, and you stitch it on. Now if you have a very thick material, you should cut the corners out a little bit, but in my case that material is relatively thin, so I don't need to do any cutting, and it's better for the corners anyway on this particular material. So that is your cuffling totally prepared to be stitched on. It has to be stitched on the left side of the sleeve, inside practically, and we're stitching the part on that is not been ironed over. So please turn the sleeve now to the proper side. The right side is on the outside now, and you are looking in the inside of the sleeve now, and take your cuffling and put exactly the corner from your vent evenly together with the corner from your cuffling. They have to join exactly there where you're going to stitch the 1 centimeter seam. Make sure it's held very well on your start. It should not open up. Now put edge to edge, open the seam. If you haven't stitched it over towards one side, stitch over that seam. And already now, after you stitched a little bit, you should look for the end where you got to go to with this cuffling. So take this fold over corner, look for the other side where your end comes down, lie edge on edge, and you can see maybe you have to change your pleats a little bit in case if you haven't folded them in enough, or if you have to open them up a little bit more. And of course you can, if you wish, stitch on the sleeve and have the cuffling lying on the bottom, but that is not advisable. You should always have the cuffling on the top and stitch on the cuffling, because that makes sure that you do not get any widths in the cuffling, because otherwise the next step we're going to do, if you have widths in the cuffling, it's not easy to do. But this way, you definitely will not have any widths in the cuffling, and the next step is really easy. So again, you have to turn the sleeve. Now the inside is outside, and you start on this corner, as you can see. Now I could start sewing going this way down, but that's not what I'm going to do. Push nicely the seams inside. Now put it under the machine and start sewing about 2-3 centimeters inwards, practically where your vent is coming down. You don't need to go back and forth with the machine. Just start sewing, because then this is very nicely held when we come around the other corner. You will see that later. So that's the easy part now coming up, because you iron this nice flat. So you just stitch along that bottom part, go along. That's fun, because it's no work whatsoever. It's just a straight seam. Now we got the same corner here again. Make sure not to put the sleeve underneath the cuffling seam. Put the cuffling seam underneath the vent coming down, because that makes sure it doesn't come out. You don't need to fiddle around with that one. So again, you go to that corner. I do one step, one stitch across first, and another couple, and now already I look towards my end, or my start that I had, because now you can see this is practically lying flat on its own without me doing anything, because of the proper preparation you did. So all you do is stitch along the top. Make sure your seam doesn't show out from underneath, and just stitch along there. Looks easy. It's easy, to be honest. Put the pleats flat, that they don't get anything funny, and now I just stitch over 3, 4, 5 stitches, and this is finished. Okay, we're turning it again to the proper side of the sleeve now, and here you go. Look at this. It's all finished. A lovely vent and a nice cuffling put on. And you can look inside. It's just as tidy on the inside as it is on the outside. There you go. Easy, didn't I say? I'm sure you can do that as well. Now just try it, and I hope you have much luck and success with all the sewing you're doing. Bye for now.